Family of Aliens by Paymon Forough. A loud thud frightened me, and I jumped out of my bed faster than a jaguar. The attic was squeaking with voices. I didn't know what to do. I was curious to find out what these noises were, but what could it be? A family with small mice? A cat? Only God knew what was up there, and I sure didn't know. I had to find out what these obnoxious sounds were. So I grabbed my ladder from the garage, then my handy flashlight, and slowly made my way to the attic. The first thing I noticed was a wave of dust splashing into my face like water. I quickly turned on my flashlight and discovered something I had never seen before. It was dark green with a slim, shaky body, with a humongous head and two oval-shaped eyes. Behind the creature were two small people that looked the same. There was one that looked like a baby, and another one just a little smaller than who I thought was the mother. The more I looked at the creature, the more familiar it looked, and at that point I knew what was making all these noises. Aliens, I whispered to myself. Then the alien began to speak in a very high-pitched voice.
"We come in peace, fellow human. Our teleportation device had a bug, and we must have landed in your home. We do not mean any harm. May you please help us?"
I froze there and thought to myself, is this real? Is there really an alien in my attic and it's speaking English to me? I glared at the alien for a long time. I didn't know if this was a dream or not, but for some reason I wanted this to be true. Luckily it was, since I pinched myself a couple of times. My brain was yelling at me not to trust them, but my gut had another feeling, and that was to help them. At that moment I had a flashback of my mother telling me, "Always rely on your gut," and that's exactly what I did. I replied by saying, "Come down from there, it's too dark. We can talk down here." I felt as if the alien had no idea what I was saying, but it got every word of it. The alien then talked this weird language to the other aliens. The language distinctly sounded like weird cat noises. The alien finally replied back,
"We shall proceed with your idea."
I never thought that I would find aliens in my attic and then help them down a ladder. Once everyone came down, I got a better look at what these creatures really looked like. The father had a huge mark on its arm and on its legs, with a blue goo faintly being seen within the wound. The mother was much slimmer than the father, with diamond-shaped eyes, as she stood in front of who looked like the baby of the family. The little alien looked as clean as a baby, with very shiny skin with the color of bright blue. As we proceeded in the living room, these magnificent creatures stared at every object they could find, from vases to the chairs in my house. Once we arrived in our living room, the alien told me,
"Our teleportation devices ran out of power. Do you think you can recharge it?"
The very next second, a loud ding came from the door. The aliens became frightened, and they were again speaking in their language. I interrupted them by yelling, "Get back in the attic, quick!" I felt very lucky because they did exactly what I told them, with no questions asked. The door dinged 3 more times until I turned the knob and opened the door. I see my neighbor Bob outside my door. Bob is a very interesting guy who would always come and ask for the dumbest of help. Even though this was very annoying, I would still be wondering what he needs with the help that day. "Hey John," Bob shouted. "Do you think you can help me open this box of AAA batteries?" "Sure," I said in a shriveling voice as I easily ripped the box open. Bob then stared at me with a surprised face, like always. "How did you do that?" Bob would always wonder. "It's nothing, believe me." When he received the box of batteries, he gave me 2 of them and said, "Just in case you need them." Then he fled back into his house, and I shut the door. Usually the conversations with Bob are a lot longer, but I guess I got lucky again today. I put the batteries in my pocket and opened the attic for the aliens to come down. The father asked in a much deeper voice than usual, "Are we in danger? Who is that at the door?" I was scared to tell him the truth, so I told him a lie. "Just my brother. You're safe, believe me." I felt like I just won the lottery because this alien believed everything I said without complaining. After that, I looked back at the teleportation device and glared at it like I was in a staring contest. I was looking for the problem, like trying to find the object in a scavenger hunt, until I spotted the problem. There was a tiny opening that had a label on it, and it was in a language I had never seen before. "Do you know what this label says?" I curiously asked the father. He read the label and mumbled for a little bit until he told me what I thought was the most unexpected thing I ever heard.
It says you need 2 AAA batteries for use.
I froze at that moment and asked myself this question: how do I have a solution to fix a teleportation device for aliens I found in my attic? I couldn't answer that question no matter how much I tried, but I did fix the problem. I popped the batteries out of my pocket and attached them into their positions. The father then pressed a small button on the side of the device, which made the device glow in a bright purple color. The mother had then pulled the father away and told him something in their random language. The father then asked me, "Oh, thank you. How could we ever repay you?" I easily answered, "Can you make my neighbor Bob a brighter person?" The father then nodded and proceeded to the pad and disappeared out of thin air. I don't know how, but I was able to sleep that night. But then the next day, I would keep asking myself the same question: how do I have a solution to fix a teleportation device for aliens I found in my attic? My flow of concentration ended when another loud ding came from my front door. My theme is that aliens are beautiful creatures.